A group of local city councillors is urging Premier David Eby to overturn a decision by Metro Vancouver's board of directors. On Friday, the board voted to suspend its promised independent review of the beleaguered and vastly over-budget North Shore wastewater treatment plant. And they did so behind closed doors. Here's the Premier on the overextended project and the impact it will have on the public.
Metro Vancouver, if they were wronged by the contracting company, that they're able to recover in court and offset some of the losses that taxpayers and all of us are facing as a result. We'll have a look at the justification for the decision by Metro Vancouver and how to move forward. But the bottom line is that Metro Vancouver needs to ensure accountability for taxpayers, and we'll make sure that that happens.
For more on this, we're now joined by Surrey City Councillor Linda Annis, one of several councillors who have been outspoken on the problems about this project over the years. Councillor, first of all, what do you make of the board postponing the review?
I think it is an absolute disgrace. The residents of the Metro Vancouver area have every right to know what's gone wrong. This is their money, not the directors that are sitting at Metro Vancouver. It's absolutely critical that this project has gone from $700 million to almost $4 billion with no answers. And all the residents are hearing is that their taxes are going up as a result of it.
Now, one of the concerns being that Metro Vancouver is engaged in litigation with the former contractor. So is it understandable, though, that perhaps if there are things that are to be private or subject to attorney-client privilege, that they wouldn't be out there anyway? Do you think there's any wiggle room to allow the public to know a little bit more?
Well, the litigation actually isn't going to take place until 2027. That's a long time away from now. And we have a lot that we need to know and learn from this. And I do think that an independent inquiry in terms of what happened, what went wrong, can be done simultaneously with any legal action.
Okay. What exactly would you like the Premier to do here?
Well, it's clear that Metro Vancouver isn't going to do anything about it, and I'd like the Premier to step in. I think what we really need here is an independent investigation. Metro Vancouver shouldn't be investigating themselves. It should be done by an independent third-party organization.
Would you suggest that be the province or a provincial official, or who do you think ought to do it?
I think an independent third party, a company that is very familiar with doing this type of work, because we really need to get to the bottom of it. And I think government should stay out of it, and let's get to the bottom of it. This is a huge, huge tax burden for the residents of Metro Vancouver. And, they unfortunately don't have the right to even elect the directors that are spending this kind of money on such significant infrastructure projects.
Have you had a chance to speak with any other councillors or perhaps anybody on that board who voted to postpone it? And what do they say?
Well, there seems to be a code of silence. Nobody's talking, and I understand that because it wasn't closed. But what should have happened, I think, after the vote was taken, there should have been another motion to release the vote. When you're voting on something as important as this, we, as elected officials, need to be accountable for our decisions.
And Councillor, on that angle, as an elected councillor, how do you explain the extra financial burden that is going to likely inevitably flow onto the taxpayer for this project and the cost overruns?
Well, I can't explain it because I don't know what the facts are. All I do know is I hear how much, for an example, on the North Shore, how much their taxes are going up. I know they're certainly not happy. And here in Surrey, our residents aren't happy with any tax increase, let alone one that you can't explain.
Councillor Linda Annis, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.